Every scientist in the world knows that protein inhibits calcium absorption, and milk is liquid meat. It's protein.
Pringles potato chips made by Procter & Gamble in the United States are widely available in shops in Hong Kong, but tests by quarantine control authorities in Zhuhai in July found that the chips contain potassium bromate, an additive used to strengthen bread dough and improve the quality of flour. Consuming too much of the chemical can damage the nervous system and the kidneys. The World Health Organization warned that consuming more than 0.01 grams of potassium bromate a day increases the risk of cancer and has recommended banning it in food.
If the package says wheat flour, if that's all it mentions, it doesn't say 100%, it just says wheat flour, that means that it is 75% white flour, 25% wheat flour. So you're actually buying white bread.
If you go buy a piece of processed meat, like sandwich meat, for example, at the grocery store, it may have been on that shelf for 3 or 4 weeks. It should be gray. People wouldn't buy it. They'd be sickened by it. So they use a chemical called sodium nitrite or sodium nitrate. This chemical, the USDA tried to ban this chemical in the 1970s. They were unsuccessful because of food industry lobbyists. It's still legal, and by the way, it causes cancer. It is such a powerful carcinogenic chemical that it belongs to a class of chemicals called nitrosamines that lab researchers actually inject into mice when they want to give them cancer so they can study the cancer.
An excitotoxin basically is any substance that causes brain cells to become very excited, and they start firing their impulses very rapidly. And they fire so rapidly that this cell will become exhausted and die. This occurs over about an hour's period. So if you take some brain cells and you put them in a petri dish and you expose them to these excitotoxic substances, the cells start firing real rapidly. But they look normal during that 1 hour period. You look at them, they look perfectly healthy. And then at 1 hour, they just suddenly die. Every research laboratory that is dealing with the diseases like Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's disease, Lou Gehrig disease, Huntington's disease, all these terrible diseases of the brain, the number one thing that they're talking about is excitotoxin.
You know it as NutraSweet. It's in just about everything. Soft drinks, iced tea, hot chocolate, tabletop sweetener, chewing gum, cereal, pudding, ice cream, cookies, even breath mints and children's vitamins. Odds are, aspartame is part of your diet, but should it be? Dr. John Olney is a researcher at Washington University in St. Louis.
I fed aspartame to infant mice and found that it produced the same kind of brain damage that monosodium glutamate causes.
The ingestion of the widely used artificial sweetener called aspartame, better known as NutraSweet or Equal, may just be responsible for what the authors say is a dramatic increase in the number of people who develop brain tumors.
know there was a difference. I thought they were about the same.
I don't know.
I really don't know, actually.
I don't know.
Probably something having to do with the way it's grown, but I'm not exactly sure.
Organic means something that is grown naturally, the way nature intended for us. As far as meat is concerned, organic means that it is grown without the use of hormones, antibiotics, and the animals were fed organic products. When it comes to vegetables, organic means that they've been grown in fields without using chemical sprays. Non-organic vegetables that you buy in the store will have a residual chemical poison on them, and these sprays create many undesirable consequences. Not only do they create produce that is toxic when consumed, but the chemical pesticides destroy nutrients in the soil, which lowers the overall nutritional value of the food. These pesticides also make their way into the water supplies, increasing our everyday toxic exposure. When organic vegetables are grown without chemicals, they are not only more nutritious, but they taste better as well.
Let me tell you about Codex Alimentarius. Let me define it for you. Let me help you understand the enemy. And let me assure you that absolutely nothing that I'm going to tell you is exaggerated, is interpolated, or is imagined. Everything I'm going to tell you is documented. After the Second World War, the Nuremberg tribunals were held, in which people who had committed crimes against humanity were judged by the world community in a court run by the United States and Britain, and they were sentenced to terms in prison if they were found guilty of crimes against humanity. One of the people found guilty of crimes against humanity was the president of a huge industrial megalith called I.G. Farben. So when he got out of jail, he went to his UN buddies and he said, "Have I got an idea for you? If we take over food worldwide, we have power worldwide." They said, in 1962, we're going to work toward total global implementation of Codex Alimentarius on December 31st, 2009.
The new administration is pushing draconian farm controls through Congress as fast as possible and has coordinated the bills so there will be no debate. Opponents say they have less than 2 weeks to stop farming bills that would put organic farms out of business. The group Democracy in Action says the newfound safety bills were sponsored by agribusiness giants Monsanto, Cargill, Tyson's, and ADM. Under the bills, the Department of Agriculture would be able to order organic farmers what to feed their animals